Your host for a live event tonight. We are here with Vitor Hugo Hechma and Ricardo Neves. Hugo is the owner of Santarem Discus Plus in Portugal. He goes all the way down to Brazil and catches wild discus with his bare hands, and he brings them back to Portugal, and then he ships them all to me without Ricardo in New York, and that's how it works. No, that's not how it really works, but we are going to find out how it's going to work tonight. So I'm glad you're going to be able to join us, and let's say hello to our guest. Hugo, how are you?
Fine. Here in Portugal is midnight, but I'm wake up and waiting for all the questions. And in the hand, we're gonna make a flash sale with a very cheap price for the quality of the fish. So I hope everybody enjoy and put the questions. I'm here for that. So difficult questions and. I like that.
And right here in New York, USA, we have Ricardo Neves. Ricardo, how are you doing tonight?
Not bad. I'm not alone though. I got my buddy with me, my right-hand man here.
Awesome. He looks like a little wolf.
Yeah, kind of.
Whoa!
It's weird.
That's awesome.
He don't like people without hair.
Yeah, well, that's me too. Yeah, okay. Listen, everybody who's watching this tonight, and I know we're going to record this and post it as well. Before this live event started, Hugo was showing us some of the fish that he's doing for the flash sale tonight. And let me tell you, I almost fell out of my chair. Not only is the price good, but the fish are amazing. And I'm not kidding. You're going to see them in a little bit. We got some great video of this. And in true Pete Cirqua form, I was like, yeah, I want that one. I want that one. I want that one.
I want them all.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm out of control already. So I'm going to have to control myself. But we've got some people writing in already saying hello to Hugo.
Régie, ça va bien?
Ça va bien, Régie. Régie, c'est malade avec Covid. 2 mois ou quelque chose comme ça. Reggie have COVID a few weeks ago and recovered, so I hope he's well now. I miss Reggie in the actions.
Yeah, and he's pretty good.
Yeah, Reggie is super. Okay, and we have Bogdan from Spain. Hello, Bob.
Bogdan.
How are you, man?
Welcome.
I drink a room for you. Okay, so
is this on display? Is this call on display in the Discus review group on Facebook? I'm looking for it right now.
Well, the chat will be in different groups. Discus review in our page, Santarem Discus page, and also in France. So, well, we cannot speak French or Spanish. We're gonna speak English. So, guys, I'm really sorry. In the future, perhaps a live chat in French.
Okay,
my friend, very good.
Is this call on display in the Discus review group on Facebook? I'm looking for it right now. Hold on, I got it.
Well, the chat will be in different. Wow.
Okay, I closed out a screen because I got a double thing going there for a second. So I think we're good now. You should just hear me. Good.
So let's start with the questions.
Okay, you know what? Let me just jump in here. I think the best way to start this out, and things that I personally would like to know, and I know Ricardo would like to know a little bit more about this, is your personal history, Hugo. How long have you been into discus? When did you first start with discus? I want to know when you bought your first wild discus or caught your first wild discus, and when did you start Santarem?
Well, with 10 years. I have a lot of birds, okay? I'm crazy for birds. So I have canary, and I breed canary, and I spend a lot of money in canaries. I love that. I love that. You know, if I have space in my house, I have a lot of birds, parrots. You know, I love them. I just have a parrot with 26 ears. African parrot, you know.
He's 28 years old.
28?
28.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So
So
how
10
I
years.
how I start. I start because I have the canaries at home, and one day I have some problems in my legs.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes,
Yes.
and the doctors say to my mother, you need to stop with the canaries. It's something happening in your body because the canaries, and with that age, I'm very sad, and I'm too young. And my mother offer an aquarium, okay, and I never have fish in my life, but I have a friend, a very close friend, still my friend until now. Is my neighbor, and he breed a lot of angel. And I asked him, the name is João, and I asked him, João, how I can start aquarium? So he explained everything. I need more or less 3 weeks to a month to put the first fish, blah, 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 blah. And he goes with me to a shop. And when I arrive to the shop, I'm looking for the discos, and I look for all the fish. But what I really like is the discos. And it's funny because I like the discos. I'm looking for the discos. I see the price is not cheap. I have 14 in that time, 14 years old, and that is a little expensive. But I make some questions to the guy of the shop, and I never forget. I have a veterinarian near me. I don't know him, and he say, "But is your first aquarium?" And I say, "Yes." And you want to put discus? And I say, yes, I like this fish. It's discus, isn't it? Yeah, it's discus. Don't buy, because I'm veterinary, and all the fish I buy, the discus, they die. So I listened to the guy. I made everything João say to made in my aquarium. And after 1 month, I buy and I bring to my house and my aquarium the first two discus. Well, and then the vicious starts. Until now. And until now, in one moment, I have more than 20 aquariums at home, and I breeding a lot of the hybrid fish in my house. I still have the 2 rooms with the electricity, no aquariums, of course, but I have breeding a lot. And look, I go to Amazon to learn more about discos, and made a farm there. I arrived Amazon to work with the guy in Fortaleza, and I'm a little disappointed because the guy invited me to work with him with discos, and when I arrive, I just see salt water. So okay, doesn't matter.
How many times have you been to the Amazon?
Me?
Yes.
I lived there for 15 years.
Okay.
Now I just go there for 1 or 2 months, and I hope in the future, if I start breeding wild discos, perhaps I stop with the company in Amazon. Also, guys, we have many meetings with people for the Ministry of Environment, and they say, "Wait, guys, we don't know how long you can do this job." Because we're gonna put some laws to finish take fish for the nature. So I don't know if this is gonna happen in next year or next 5 years or 10 years, but that's gonna happen for sure. So one day we cannot take fish for the environment. And
you better send me some extra ones so I can start breeding them then.
Yeah. We have a quota, okay? We have a quota of discos. I just can take for the space I have 4,000. Okay. Usually I take the 4,000, and we have a platform for also the Ministry of Environment in Brazil, who control how many fish we take and how many fish we sell. And if they die, we need to inform how many die. So Brazil is not like in the past. They have many rules, and each time more rules, and a big control, So
that leads me to my next question for you, Hugo. How many fish? Now, we just did last week, if you saw my video tour of Santarum Discus Plus, it's a wonderful tour that Hugo took us through his whole facility and showed us every fish in there. So I got a couple of questions about this, and then I'm going to let Ricardo jump in here. how many fish total are in Santarum Discus Plus on average?
Well, this week is a crazy week because we sell a lot of fish, unbelievable.
Okay, so before you sold the fish, how many?
Yeah, I think we have 1,200.
1,400.
Yeah.
Very good. Okay, and I got when I did that video tour of the facility, I got a lot of questions about your tanks, Hugo. For instance, a lot of the tanks, they're about 90 gallons US.
We don't use gallons here all the time. Is a problem for the European, but we have 350 liters each one.
Okay,
Yeah, it's about 90, between
right?
90 and 100.
Yeah, it's 1 meter and half for 6060. Okay.
Yes.
So is 300 and half. I have a problem with numbers in English.
That's okay. That's what we're here.
I'm gonna say 350. You understand?
Yes, we got it. Ricardo, I'm going to let you jump in there, and then we're going to get back. I want to get back to Hugo about his filtration system for 1,400 Discus. But go ahead, Ricardo. Are you seeing a lot of the questions popping up?
I saw one about what pH and GH and conductivity do you recommend for the Tefe Green Wild Discus?
Wow. Look, guys, it's something important to tell to everybody. It's impossible to have the same water at home like the water the fish lives. Okay, so don't try because that is impossible. The fish in the natural, they lives with 18 microsiemens and with the pH 5.5 5.2. It's impossible to have that water so soft. You understand? So it's not a good idea to try to make the same at home because you're going to have problems with the pH. It's impossible to control the pH in that way. So it's difficult to tell and recommend the pH. I use here a pH 6.5, 6.8, and 300 microsiemens. It's the water. It's my tape water. The tape water arrived with 7, and after 24 hours, it downs to 6.8, and some days is 6.5. So between 6.5 and 8, and 300 microsiemens. So it's not so important the water to keep the discos. To breathe, yes, that is important. To keep. They can have a pH with 7.5. I have a customer in China where I've been. My first time I've been in China. Well, the second time he invited me to go to Chengdu in the north of China, and the pH is 7.5, and the fish, the wild discos are perfect. Of course, with the pH and the conductivity high, the fish don't have so much color, but they live and they are in perfect conditions. But what I recommend, it's like I have here, 6.5, 6.8, and 300 microsiemens. I don't put nothing in the water, okay? And I advise everybody to don't buy things to put in the water. The water is something very complicated. If we start to change the water, we lose the control of the water. So many people put things to take the chloramine or the chloro. People put something liquids to down the pH, up the pH. Well, guys, don't do that. Don't do that because it's a mistake. I make everything natural, and I'm a pure guy. You know, I like simple things to understand why something happened. If I use many things, I lose the control.
That's wonderful, Hugo. When we did that tour of your fish room last week, it was a wonderful tour, but there was one thing missing I'm going to ask you for. Is I would have loved to seen video of your filtration system and the plumbing on how you do the water changes. Would you do a video like that, another tour of the fish room, just of the filtration in the future?
I'm gonna do what I have, and I can say now by words. Then I send a video for you. Okay,
yes.
Peter, and you can share in the Facebook or in the YouTube. What I made here, it's a big sump with 3.5 meters for the size, 3 meters and a half, for 2 meters, and 5 meters. Let's say
deep. 5 meters deep.
Yeah. So I have more or less 5 milliliters of water in that sump, and it's very easy to make a quick change of water if I need. What I'm doing, I have a pump. I take the water out, and comes new water. Very simple. In a few seconds or minutes, I make a change of water. Of course, every day we clean the aquariums, okay? And when we clean the aquariums, we take many water out. So I need to put water. But by day, we take more or less no more than 5% of water.
5% per day?
Yeah, per day. And I tell you guys, and for everybody who see us now and in the future in YouTube, I advise people make change of water when they have nitrates and nitrates. Okay? If you don't have nitrates and nitrates, need
leave it alone.
Yeah. If the water is stable, if no nitrates, why are you gonna make a change of water? Because all the change of water, it's not good for the fish. Okay,
more stress.
It's not good because perhaps it's not the same pH, perhaps it's not the same conductivity, and the fish, the wilds, I speak about the wilds, of course, the wilds like a very stable water with no big change of pH and conductivity. So change of water, it's good for the hybrid, not good for the wilds.
Yep. I'd like to take this opportunity to remind everybody who's on the call with us tonight, if you have a question for Hugo, please put it in the comments and Ricardo and I will read it off to him. Thank you for that other question that Ricardo read about the pH and GH and conductivity. Hugo, I have another question for you. I believe this is from Rodrigo in the United States. And he asks, how do you differentiate, how can you tell the difference between a semi-royal and a royal?
Oh, very easy. You see the lines in the body of the royal. The royal, it's a royal when the body is full of lines. Okay. The semi-royal is when the head of the fish have some lines and some part of the stomach, and not completely lines. Okay, so that is a semi-royal. It's very easy to see. For example, the fish I sent to you, I change.
Right.
Okay, is a semi-royal. What's happened many times? What's happened is this. If I take a fish for the environment and take with me and make the quarantines, many times a semi-royal after 8 months be a royal, because many lines, they are inside the fish, but they don't come. They just come with time, you know?
Yep.
So I remember...
Can a semi-royal become a royal?
Yep.
Well, it's possible. But in your case, I think going to be difficult. I'm going to tell you why. Because your fish stay with me for more or less 8-9 months. So if it's not in 8-9 months a royal, going to be difficult stay a royal in more 1 or 2 years. Perhaps can happen because they are all the time they are changing. It's fantastic, the wilds, because that. If you take a picture when you receive the fish and you take a picture after 6 months, sometimes the fish is totally different. And, you know, it's something I remember in the past when I export just from Portugal, from Amazon. I have sold so many semi-royals, and I'm sure in 3 or 4 months that fish, they are royal. And I sell much more cheaper when it's a semi-royal, because we found many semi-royal, but we don't found so many royals.
Right.
Okay? So
thank you for that question from Rodrigo. Rodrigo is actually typing into the comments right now, Hugo, so it's wonderful that we had him and his question on at the same time.
I just saw one that came by for somebody was asking if we can get some of the F1 ECAs in the United States.
Oh, I'm working for that. Well, I don't know what's happening in the United States, but here in Europe and in Portugal is a disaster because the price of the glass and the price of the iron up every 2 days. So, for example, I'm waiting for new aquariums to put my couples, and the guy who made the aquariums say, "Hugo, it's impossible to give you the number of how much you're going to pay because next today it's up more 5%. So it's better you waiting until October to start make the aquariums because it's impossible to give you the total amount for all the aquariums you want." So this happens because the pandemic, and well, I need to waiting. But of course, my goal is breeding wild discus. I don't know if I'm gonna have success. I don't know if I'm gonna win money, but it's a dream, and I run all the time for my dreams, you know. So I want to breed a lot of wilds, and I have the best quality. I separate, of course, for me, the best wilds. I have take from the jungle. You know, so
Ricardo, it sounds like we have to go pay him a visit if we want to get the good stuff.
Yes, I've been thinking about it.
You go pack them up.
it's what Ricardo tell me one of these days. I need to go there to see what you have for you, and I have explained it. Today I have a French here, and he say, "Now I understand why your fish are expensive." And I know if you start breeding when you have your aquariums, you're going to have the best F1 in the world. Of course, Ica type, and to answer the question, Ica type in this moment is my favorite fish. Okay, so I keep for me more or less 100 Ica type, and I want to breed them. Of course, it's a vicious. You know, I have the same vicious like Pete, like Rodrigo, and everybody who looking in this chat in this moment. And it's a passion and the vicious. You know, I'm never happy what I made. I'm never happy with the aquariums I have. I want all the time more fish, and well, one day I need to stop because sometimes I think I'm crazy. Yeah.
Ricardo, do you want to take another Facebook question?
Yeah, here's a good one. Deworming protocol when the fish first arrive in Portugal.
Wow, nice. I made this.
I have right here. If you want me to hold them up, I will. You sent this to me. Hugo sent these to me.
Yeah, exactly the medicaments I use here. I use first levamisil. Doesn't matter if it's levamisil the first or octocil. I use first the levamisil because levamisil is not so, how I say, is not so power. It's not, don't change too much the fish, okay? They don't stop eating, for example. And I use first levamisil, and I made levamisil 2 times. And if you read the paper who comes with the medicament, I don't know the word in English, they recommend to make the levamisil by 6 days. I just doing for 4 days. Then I make a change of water of 0.5% of the aquarium. And then after 2-3 days, sometimes I put again the levamisil and waiting more 4 days. Okay.
Okay, so levamisil is for 4 days and then a water change, according to Hugo. And Hugo, this little tiny box right here, I'm sure can only treat a couple of tanks. How much of this product do you go through? You must get buckets of it.
I have liters.
Liters, yeah. It's got to be.
Yes, because Manaus Aquarium, we have a very good relation. When everything happens with my fish, anything happens, they help me. Sometimes, well, I also have a microscope I buy from Manaus Aquarium, an expensive one. And when I have problems, I take a fish and I send the pictures and the videos to Manaus Aquarium to see what's happened. It's a parasite, a flagellate, what is that? Sometimes I don't find what is it, I need help. So they help me. And 6 months ago, or 8 months ago, I sent 4 fish to Manaus Aquarium for the guys see, and after 3 days they send me reports and they say, "Hugo, it's the first time we're looking for fish with no parasites. They don't have nothing. They are perfect. Congratulations. We are very happy because you use our medicaments." And one of the problems of the fish is when you use a lot of medicaments, you have the leaf, fígado. How you say
Liver.
it?
Liver.
Yes. If you use a lot of medicaments, the liver can, grow.
Large. Yeah.
Yes.
It's like in the human when we eat just shits like hamburgers, and if I go to McDonald's every day, my liver gonna be a big size for sure. So with the fish is the same, with a lot of medicaments and a bad nutrition. For example, I don't like beef heart because with beef heart the liver grow up and
so no beef heart for your wild discus.
No, never.
No frozen foods.
Before we get off the subject, to continue, how do you use this?
Yeah, Octosil. How I use Octosil? Usually I use after 1 week. I have used the Levamisil. So after 1 week, I make again a change of water. I put some carbon in the filtration to remove all the medicaments. And I put Octosil. Octosil is a very power medicament and kill a lot of bacteria. Okay, so for example, if you put Octosil today and next day or after 2 days the water is cloudy, you don't see the fish, don't change the water. Just the medicament have killed some bacteria, but next day the water is totally clean. It's unbelievable. But because the people usually they put the medicament, they don't see the fish, the water is cloudy, and they change the water and they lose the medicaments, so they don't make nothing with it.
Yeah.
So I make the same. I use 1 milliliter to 20 liters. I make 4 days. I change again the water, half of the water, and after 1 day, 2 days, usually 2 days, I repeat the Octosil for 4 days again.
Okay.
Something important. It's Octosil. It's very good. Works very well. It's the key of success of my fish, like the food. But it's important when we make the medicament, the fish don't be too skinned, because when they are too skinned, perhaps is no solution. And it's important to make, and the result is much better when the fish eating. Okay, right. Can eating a few flakes or grains, but eating in that way, for sure, the medicament gonna work.
Okay, eating is very important. So for everybody, just very quick, we're going to segue into diet right now. But before we do, I want to point out that as a United States representative of Santarum Discus Plus, I am wearing my T-shirt. I have my shirt with the Santarum logo on it, so I am representing the brand well. Ricardo's really got to up his game. Next call, Ricardo's going to have to wear like a baseball cap with it. So. So let's segue.
I gotta
Hugo,
get a nice big banner back here.
A banner. That's even better. You're going to need that. So Santarum Plus USA banner. I like it. Hugo, let's talk about why no beef heart. Again, let's clarify that. And what do you feed your fish? Let's get the details of that.
Okay. It's not a secret because many people knows, and you see my pictures all the time. I put the logo of Tropical. A few years ago, I started using Tropical. Tropical in Portugal and in Brazil is expensive because it's imported and a lot of taxes. But
let me clarify. You're talking about Tropical fish food. Tropical is the name brand. I'm just letting everybody know.
Exactly. I started to use Tropical because I have used other brands and I don't see very effects in the fish. So, and I have some problems with some brands. So I use Tropical. I like the Tropical. I see the fish well with good colors and I see it's a good food. So one day I come to Portugal and I love football. So I go to the European Championship, and the European Championship is in Poland. So I booking a meeting with the guys of Tropical, and I have that meeting, and they give me a sponsor because they believe in my work, and they see the pictures, they see everything I made, and they give me a sponsor, and that sponsor it's more or less 8 or 9 years. And well, I just use tropical, and I think it's, for me, it's okay. Usually I say, if the team win, why I gonna change? You understand? So
Exactly.
why change? Why I gonna change if the food is okay for me? Perhaps they are better foods in the market. I don't know, because I never test in these 9 years. Well, I test one of these days a new food for a brand. I don't want to make the publicity of that brand, but I buy a big quantity, and I'm a little stupid. Why I don't buy a small package? I buy okay, I don't speak about this brand. And it's a brand. Why I buy? I buy because it's a new food with probiotics, and I like to see what's happened with the fish. When I put the food, the water is totally cloudy, and the fish don't eat the food, so I don't use anymore. So the base of the food in the house is probiotic in the morning. Then I put some flakes like D15. Then come the lunch. I go lunch. When I arrive to the lunch, I give another flakes like spirulina or 3-algae. And the end of the day, I give again probiotic. Sometimes we have time and we give 5 times, but usually 4 times is enough for the fish. What is important when you give the food for the fish is looking. Some fish they control the food. Okay, so the others don't eat because they are all the time. They are full of food, but they attack the others. They don't want to eat more, but they don't give space for the others eat. That is very important to looking, because sometimes we have problems and the fish start to be skinny if just that fish controls the aquarium. So
let me clarify for some of the people listening in. So Hugo uses Tropical, and that's TROPICAL, Tropical products. Ricardo and I have had this shipped into the United States for us, for our fish. He uses a probiotic in the morning, probiotic formula pellet in the morning. He uses some flakes, and he also uses an algae version of the product, green algae. Isn't that right, Hugo?
Yeah, I use spirulina, but but the best algae is 3-algae, and very good ones. And in the nature, in the environment in Amazon, the fish eating algae. Okay, they don't eat much more that algae in the trucks, and so. It's
so in the wild, they're not eating other little fish. They're not eating meat.
Yeah, perhaps they eat little fish, but when we cut the stomach of the fish and we go with the microscope, what we see is algae. So perhaps in some place they are springs. Yeah. For example, Quipewa. In Quipewa is a community with the fish very red, the color. Why? Because it's a lot of spring there. Okay.
So water quality again.
When I'm select the fish in Quipewa, I have the water for this part of the body, and I have the big box here with the fish, and I'm looking for the fish all the time. The springs, they are attack me, a lot of them. So the fish are red in Quipewa. Also, is not just genetic; it's because they eat for sure a lot of springs there.
Very good. Before Ricardo takes the next question off of our comment section, I want to give a big shout out to my good friend Richie, who is home recovering from knee surgery. He's in Australia. Richie is on our call with us tonight. It's probably tomorrow morning, early in the morning for Richie in Australia. So great to see you here, pal. Ricardo, what do we have next?
Which are the most finicky of the wild strains?
Ricardo, I don't know what is finicky.
Finicky, does it eat well? That doesn't eat well?
Eat?
São estranhos, assim, mais difíceis de ter, ou
Okay. So it's something funny. I give you an example. They are a place. It's the name is Lago Grande. It's a big lake in English. Okay, Lago Grande. It's funny because all the fish we take, we put in aquarium. After 2 days, they are eating. Okay. For example, the ankle takes more time. They are very stressed fish. But I have, and when I say we, is because we are a team. I'm alone, I don't do nothing, okay? So I have people in Amazon who work with me and people in Portugal. So I cannot speak just about my work. I speak about the work of my team. Alone, I don't do nothing. So one day, I'm in the boat and I'm looking for the hood box where I put the fish, and I remember I'm thinking, why I don't put food? I have tropical food, flakes and grains. Why I don't bring the food and I put in the hood box when the fish stay there 1 week, 2 weeks? So next trip, I come with food from tropical and I give to my fishermen and say, guys, when you have fish in the hood box, you have food here, start feeding the fish inside the hood box until I pick up them. And works like this. After that, when the fish comes with me to my farm, they eating at the same day, or many times the same day is difficult, 1 or 2, but next day they are eating very well, and after a week they are eating like crazy. So it's just thinking, sometimes we are in the boat, nothing to do, but we can thinking. We can,
Good ideas, yeah.
Yes, I have ideas. The head is made for that, I'm all the time, I'm sleeping, and when I go sleeping all the time, I have a paper near me, and perhaps this work, all the time I'm trying to make something because I cannot live in the routine,
So I'd like to tell everybody that in my shipment from Hugo, Ricardo and I picked up a shipment. If you haven't seen the YouTube video that I put together about the Santarum order that we got in a couple of months ago, one of my bags that I took out was labeled Lago Grande, and I believe it was a semi-royal, royal or semi-royal. So I did not know the history. Now, Lago Grande, that's spelled Lago and then Grande. Lago Grande is a lake in the Amazon where Hugo fished and collected the discus from, correct?
Yeah, correct. And that ones, we don't have a hood box there. Well, we have, but small ones made by the fishermen. And we never make that in Lago Grande. That's what I have speaking. We make in Iripichi, we made in Batata, but in Lago Grande I never made that. And it's fantastic because the fish never eating flakes or grains, and after 1 or 2 days they are eating like crazy. It's unbelievable. So it's fantastic. The ankle, it's a very nervous fish. Rodrigo asked why they are more stressed, but Rodrigo, to be very honest, I think it's the genes of the fish, because they live in the very similar water in Nyamunda, and I don't understand why they are more stressed, but they are, for sure they are.
Okay, that's a great observation. Rodrigo came up with that one too. Hugo, let's talk about breeding for a little bit. Have you had any success? Do you have any pairs set up?
Yeah, a lot.
Tell us about it. How many pairs do you have set up? What looks like it's going to breed for you or produce for you, and which ones are more difficult?
Well, for now, I have 300 fish separate to breeding, okay? About couples, perhaps I have 20, 21.
So 300 fish, and out of the 300 fish, you have 20 pairs at the moment.
Exactly. The new room is not finished. The room is finished, but still waiting the aquarium. So I have space for 3-4 couples. Okay. So I think it's enough, and I have more space to grow up, because that is very important. All the time, space is important to have, because I know how is it. I have in the past when I breed the hybrid discos, the problem is the space. So many times people comes to my house and to buy, for example, 5 fish, and I say, okay, you buy 5 fish and I give you another 5 free. Why? Because I don't have space, so I need to
Ricardo, we gotta go.
I like the sound of that.
Yeah. So I think what is necessary is time and believe what we can do and trust in us. And I think I'm gonna do that. It's my dream. I hope have healthy to make everything, because breeding wild discos, I know some people do it also in United States, but not in a big quantity or many couples. And just a guy like me who have a company in Amazon can have the best selection of couples to breed. And that is what I want to make, and never mix it. I don't want to mix, I don't want to put an ankle with the Lago Grande. I want to put an ankle for Yamunda with the ankle for Yamunda, Lago Grande with Lago Grande, Iripishi like Iripishi. So, and that not depend of me, depend of the fish, because breeding fish 1 + 1 is not 2, you know. All takes time and relax, cool, you know, like the Chinese, you know. We have time to make everything. I'm not Chinese, but I think like them.
And Hugo, what size tank, and we'll have Ricardo help us out with the conversion here, but what size tank will you put 1 pair of fish in for breeding?
Oh, 50 to 50 to 50.
So that's in centimeters, Ricardo. What do you think? It's 25 gallons? 50 centimeter by 50 centimeter by 50?
Vai ter cerca de 80 litros. 80 liters.
Yes. So it's like about a pretty much our 29 gallons.
Okay, 29 gallons. So a 29 gallon tank. And what kind of filtration will you set them up? Just a sponge filter in there?
Yes, but they're gonna work with the sump to all the fish. Okay. Like I have here. Because here I have a part where I made the quarantines, and each battery, they have 3 aquariums and a sump. Okay? Okay. Inside the sump, I have Biohome and also Siporax and nothing more. Okay. Sometimes I put some peat turf to down a little the pH to the fish feel more comfortable. Then I have the big space I have with 69 aquariums. I have filtrations, central filtration with the big sump. Like I'm gonna make the movie for you, Pete, and they all live with the same water. So the fish just goes inside this system after the quarantine, and after I use Octosil, Levamisil, Bilosil, and then they can enter. I see the fish as well. It starts to be fatty, and
because you bring up a really good point that I think we should touch on right now. So Hugo, you treat your fish not only in the Amazon, but when you get them back to Portugal, they've had the levamisil and the octosil, and they've been treated and quarantined by you. How important is it for us when we get them in the United States or even in France or anywhere else that you ship them to? What should we be doing? Should we treat them or just watch them?
I want to be very honest with you, Peter and Ricardo, and everybody who listen our chat today. I cannot say, and it's wrong, if I say my fish are free of parasites. Okay? I never know, because I made all the quarantines. The protocol is all the same. I make the same in Amazon, then they arrive here. I make the same by more than 2 months. But the medicaments can kill the parasites of 98% of the fish. Right. But the 2%, they can still have some parasites. Because so sometimes people say, I sell fish free of parasites. Okay, that's okay. It's your opinion. My opinion is a little different. I don't believe in that. Okay, and I cannot say my fish are free of parasites. It's wrong. For me, it's wrong. Okay, let's be honest. So my advice all the time is, the fish arrive, in a separate aquarium, never mixing with others, and looking for the fish. If they are eating, if the fishes are strong and black or brown, perhaps don't need to make medicaments. But why not use once again levanicil for 4 days and again octocil for 4 days? Is more safety, is warranty for sure. The fish never gonna have nothing. It's because they goes inside the bag for example 14 hours. Okay, if he has one of them, if he have a small flagellate, a dactylogil or gyrodactyl, during that 14 hours in the bag with stress, it's go up that parasite. Okay, it's go up inside the fish, and when you put the aquarium, the others can be clean, but that one
passes to everybody else.
So why not? Because it's just 1 milliliter to 20 liters. Why not use a levanicil? Of course, it's not necessarily a big aquarium. Or if you want to put in a big aquarium, you're gonna spend a lot of medicament. So my advice is use a small aquarium with a good filtration, of course, to put few medicament, because the medicament is expensive. So this is my advice: is use the medicament when they arrive. If you have the medicaments, why not? It's the last time, perhaps. It's the last time. You don't need to make more than that.
Ricardo, why don't you tell us what your quarantine procedure, when you get a shipment in from Hugo, how do you handle it?
I put them in the tanks and I watch them for like a good week or two, because from my experience, the hardest thing when you get wild fish when they're stressed out is getting them to eat. So I like to watch them for a week or two, try to get them to eat. Eventually they will go after about a week or two from my experience. And once they are finally eating and I can see that they're getting some of their color back and they're not as stressed out, that's when I'll come in with the medications. I don't like to do it right off the bat when they're so stressed out.
Yeah. You do it well. It's like that. It's exactly like that.
And let me get the answer from both of you. Ricardo, what's your tank temperature? And let's find out what Hugo's tank temperature is.
My tank temperature, I keep it at about 84 to 86, depending on the tank. If they're not eating and I want to increase their metabolism, I'll jump it up to 86. But once they start eating and they're more comfortable, I'll bring it back down a little bit to 84.
Okay. Yeah. Hugo, your system, what is the temperature of your system?
Well, I don't use heaters here. Okay?
You don't use heaters?
Yeah. I have, I don't know how I say in English, it's in Portuguese, uma salamandra.
Like a pellet stove.
Exactly.
Okay, so he's heating the whole room.
Yep.
Exactly. And the temperature in the winter here, we have outside 5 degrees, 7 degrees. Inside, we have 29. And the water is at 27. In the summer, the same. 27, sometimes 28. So between 27 and 28. Sometimes 26 in the winter, depend the days. But in the nature, the water is 25, 26. And I found some place, also in Lago Grande, I found a place with a lot of fish, a big current, and the water is 23. So imagine, the fish also lives with 23. So when the people wants to put a very high temperature just to put the fish eating and then stop with it. Yeah.
So for everybody, I just did a quick search. 26 degrees Celsius is 78 degrees Fahrenheit. And Hugo said he found fish as low as 23 degrees Celsius. That's the coldest I've ever heard of yet. So 26 to 28. So Hugo, for us to keep them at 84 to 86, is that healthy for them or not healthy for them? Which would be what, 30 to 32 Celsius, right?
Yeah. It's 32? É isso, Ricardo?
Sim.
It's I just recommend that temperature if the fish don't eat. Okay. For example, I visit one day a farm in Germany, a famous breeder. I don't want to speak about names, okay? But he's a famous breeder, It's funny story because I go to the championship in Germany, Duisburg. It's a world championship. It's finished, and I have buy many fish to this big breeder, and I ask him. I go to Germany. Can I visit you? And he said no, because nobody enter in my farm. And I say okay, no worry. So I go to Duisburg, but I stop in the town of the guy, and I go to the place to call, and I say, "Hello, how are you?" And "Oh, Victor, how are you? I'm here in your town." And he say, "What? I'm here in your town. I want to visit you." And he say, "Oh my God, okay." So he pick up me, and I enter in the farm, and I look in the all the farm, and the temperature is like that, 31, 32. Okay, and the fish eating like chicken, because all the time they are putting food for the fish, so they grow up a lot with that temperature. What I think in the wild discos is not good, because many people say fish from the last season. I don't like. Many people say I prefer the fish from the season. I don't like fish for the season in the past. Fish with 2 years, 1 year, and I say why? And they say because the eye is too big. Okay, and I see here in Portugal in 2 years and a half, the eye don't grow up so much if I keep the fish with 27 temperature and eating 4 times a day. I think the eye can grow up if they have a bad nutrition, okay, and if they have a high temperature. It's my opinion. I don't know if I'm wrong or if I'm correct, but it's my experience, okay?
Okay. Well,
So
you're the wild discus expert. We got to know. Hugo, my friend Richie from Australia wants to know a little bit more about breeding discus, and he asks, could you tell us what your water change routine on the breeding tanks are? And he asks about tap water versus RO. But Richie, I will tell you that Hugo uses tap water, Portuguese tap water. We should bottle it and sell it. But what's your water change schedule for the breeding fish?
Well, I'm trying in the breeding fish. I have in these 2 years, I have trying everything, and well, I also try the osmose. But to be honest, I don't like osmose area water. I prefer the tap water. Osmose is too complicated and change a lot the pH. And they are breeding with my water. Why am I going to use osmose? You know, they are grow up with my water, tap water. So I use exactly the same water. The change of water, I just change the water to clean the aquariums, or if I have nitrates and nitrites. Just that.
How often is that? How often are you changing the water for your system?
5% a day, perhaps 5% a day.
5% a day is better than 35% once a week. Yes,
I think so. I think so because well, I think so. But if when you make the change of water, the new water you put in the tank is the same pH and the same conductivity, that's okay. Right. But I make 5% because I clean the tanks every day. Just at Sunday, I don't clean the tanks. You know, I like everything clean. You know, it's a problem I have. I like everything clean.
It's a good problem. You're keeping the fish healthy for us.
Yeah.
Ricardo, Tina has a question. You want to take that one?
Yeah. Do you find the wilds relatively easy to keep as discus once acclimated? She's only kept domestic discus, but would love to keep wilds.
And this is my good friend Tina from the United States, Hugo.
Hello, Tina. Well, for me, it's not selling my wild discos, but for me, it's very easy to keep the wild discos if I don't make mistakes, like I have tell you. If I start put many things in the water, like everybody made, because if you go to the shop, you see a lot of things to put in your aquarium. This is a market, okay? And the shops lives for that, selling products, okay? So pH minds, prime, well, a lot of things you see in the market. I'm very honest, I don't use nothing of that. I want to make everything simple, like I have tell you guys, and I don't use nothing, and I think works. So if you works, why I gonna change? I just use Peter sometimes, and I advise Ricardo, the last order. I advise Ricardo because he sent me some pictures, and I look for the wilds, and they are very stressed. They have a lot of bars. When the fish have bars all the time, is something wrong, okay? So, and Ricardo put some pit turf. Doesn't matter the brand, but of course, some they are better than others. But Ricardo put pit turf, and I think the fish, they are more comfortable, and the humic acid works for the wilds, and it's just that, nothing more. Why I gonna put many things, and why I gonna expend money in prime? I can put the water waiting one day today to go away the chlorochloramine. Okay, so I don't need to put prime and put other things. Forgive me, the guys who
sell. Your local tap water is okay. Your local tap water in Portugal doesn't have a lot of chlorine in it.
Oh, they have. But I use, okay, I forgot one thing. I have that big filters like you can have in your home to drink the water. Storage. Yeah. I have the big ones, and they have carbon inside. I don't remember the brand of the carbon, but I have three. I have three with carbon, 0.5 microns. Right. And I have the other ones with 20 microns, and works perfect. I change every 3 months because I use a lot of water.
So the carbon in your water storage containers is taking care of the chlorine problem, yes?
Yes, the water comes with 0.5 of chloro, okay? And when entering my aquariums after the filtration, that big filters, comes with 0.02. I have the test. So, okay, they have chloro, but it's so minimal. It don't make nothing to the fish.
You know, you brought up something, Hugo, and I just want to make sure that my American friends are going to get a little more information on this. You mentioned how Ricardo will put peat in his PEAT, not me, right? Peat in his Ricardo, how do you use peat, and what are you doing? You're trying to get the acidic level higher in your tank, right?
Yep, that and bring the pH down, which Discus love.
Acid up.
The lower the pH, the more color the fish will show. So I put it in media bags and I drop it in my tank, and I just watch the pH level over time. And once I start notice that it's going back up, it's time to replace that peat and put new in there.
Okay. So media bags are easy to get. Where are you getting your peat from?
The peat, I have a guy called from a business called KJE Aquatics. He's the one where I get pretty much all my aquarium supplies from. Yeah,
good stuff. Good. I purchased from him. Excellent. What's the leaves that he sells too?
The Catapa leaves.
Catapa leaves. I have some of those. I haven't used them yet, but I want to be careful. Now, let me point out something real quick here, because Ricardo, can you overdo this? Can you take too much peat, put it in a media bag, and actually do more harm than good?
You can, but it's going to take a little while to get there. That's why, me personally, anytime I'm changing anything in the aquarium, I'm constantly testing that water. Every single day I'm down there and I'm checking that pH. I'm making sure that's not fluctuating like crazy. The fish don't like anything constantly changing. They like it nice and constant.
Okay.
It's the same thing like us. You don't want to go from a warm home outside into freezing cold temperature. You know, we like
gradual change,
constant.
Okay. Hugo, every time that I send somebody to santarumdiscusplus.com, I tell them, and you tell me if I'm telling the truth or not, I tell them that when you see a fish, that's the actual fish that you are purchasing.
Oh, of course.
You catalog every one of the fish, 1,400 fish, you catalog them all.
Wait, I try. Okay. Well, look, I love make pictures. I made more than 1,000 of pictures by day, much more, just to keep 20 or more. So I love make pictures. It's something really important for me because when I make pictures, I come to the computer with the pictures and I can see well the fish. I can see if the fish have any holes. I can see details of the fish if he have any problem. With my eyes, in looking for a fish in the aquarium, I cannot see that. So the pictures help me a lot. Also the videos is also because I made a lot of pictures, but have that stock and all the pictures of the stock is I think it's totally impossible. I will try, but I say every day I say to my wife, we're gonna lose this war because it's impossible to take all the pictures of the fish, because sometimes the fish are in the front of the aquarium, then I need to waiting and I smoke again one more cigarette. The fish come, then the fish come and the other comes and fighting and the fish goes. So takes pictures for the fish. They are not stopping. So it's not easy. And when I make pictures, I try to make the different angles. I want the fish in the left side, right side, in front, and it's not so easy like that. So I try, and I think I made something nobody have do it, because nobody sell fish by fish.
Right. Now, Hugo, are you taking, for instance, here's one example, Lago Grande semi-royal. Are all the Lago Grande semi-royals in one tank together?
Yes.
So you're going tank by tank, red ecas in another tank.
Yeah, and sometimes what's happened? Sometimes I arrive for one aquarium and I see 20 fish there. I'm looking for the 20 fish there and I say, this fish is not a Ica. Then I need to take my computer and see if we have picture of or not, and move the fish in the computer for another aquarium. So I take the fish for the aquarium 20, for the aquarium 10, but I need to change in the computer where is the fish. So it's not so easy like that, but I have a big control of this. I have made this in Amazon, okay, with 4,000 of fish. We take the pictures one by one, but in the hand. In the hand is more easy. Takes time, yes, but it's more easy, and my customers choose all the fish by picture. And it's a lot of work, but at the same time, in the end of the season, I know how many fish I sell from Iripichi, how many fish I sell from Yamunda, how many die. So it's a big control, and I can make statistics. I love these things, I'm crazy. But it's something it's something I made in Amazon, and I say I want to do the same in Portugal, because if I have a store, I cannot put Lago Grande and I put the picture from Lago Grande, and then Pete goes to the website and buy a fish from Lago Grande, and when the fish arrive, Pete look for the fish and say, what a shit of fish, this is not nothing I expect. It's okay, can be a Lago Grande, but wow, it's terrible. No, I don't want that. It's not my responsibility when you choose the fish, okay? When you choose the fish is your responsibility. My responsibility is, Pete, the fish is not okay. The fish can be more strong. So don't you mind to change the fish for another one? Because I don't like, it's like that fish, that royal. My workers say, oh, the fish sometimes is like this. Okay, so I'm with COVID, I arrive to my farm, I'm looking for the fish. Sometimes it's like that, other times it's like that, sometimes it's like that, other times like that. I can put the fish in the bag, send to you. I don't have nothing, it's okay, the fish is like that, and then you put in an aquarium, and perhaps the same day or after 2 days the fish is like that. What are you going to think about me? Right. Another guy in the market just to make me foolish? That is not correct. That is wrong. You know, in this business is so many bad people, okay, who try to just win money. I'm here and I'm working to win money. That is a fact, okay? I living for this. Is my passion, is my work, but I living for this. But I not need to stole nobody. Okay, I don't
Hugo
need.
will pick the best fish for you out of his tanks. I can testify to that myself. He did it for me. I selected a fish, and what the story he's telling you right now is at the last minute, he said, I don't like the way, he said, Pete, I don't like the way this fish looks. I got a better one for you. He did not have to do that. He did it. He videotaped it. He posted it, and he showed it before he put it on a plane to me and Ricardo.
You know, all the time I say this, your success all the time will be my success, because if you are happy, you're gonna speak about me with good words, not with bad words. And you know, with internet, if I'm a bad guy, if I stole people, in 5 minutes is my finish. Everybody gonna speak bad things about me and destroy my reputation. I don't want that. I don't need that. So let's work in the honest way. It's make people happy with the fish I bring from Amazon.
This is great stuff. Let's segue into the flash sale, Hugo. How do we do that? How do we? What do you want to say about that? I don't know how it works.
I'm gonna share the fish I have today for show.
See this. Holy cow!
This is a barra mansa, 14 centimeters near. The price, I try to put the most cheapest possible. And let's do like this. I'm waiting until Sunday. If someone wants the fish, contact Ricardo, okay? And it's just put the video, it's gonna be in YouTube and in Facebook, and take the picture of make a shot, screen shot, screen save. And send the picture. Nothing
Guys,
else.
I just want to give you a quick update. 120 euros is what Hugo is listing here. 120 euros is about $140 US. Just so you could do some. I know we have other countries involved here, but just to give you a heads up, these fish are normally listed at a much higher price.
Yeah, and it's important to say this is just for the US market, and to Ricardo, of course. It's not for the Portuguese or French people. It's just for today, and until Sunday the people can ask for the fish, because it's important to have the order, and I need to speak this. It's important to have the order Monday, finish the order. Why? Because Monday I need to make the documents for the no seats, and I need to waiting 10 working days to have the documents and booking, because I want this fish you ordered in New York as soon as possible.
Well, I just picked out 3 for myself. I'm not kidding. I wrote them down, and Ricardo's going to be getting a text message from me, and he'll put it on my order. I've already got a few really awesome fish selected for our United States order that's coming in. Ricardo, when is the next United States order due to arrive?
The next one should be end of the month, beginning of September, which is this order here. That's
so this order that we have coming in now, and I know Rick's in on it and John's in on it. We've got a couple good people on it. It's a really nice size order, but it's just about to get bigger. I mean, every image you show here, I want one.
Just look at this one, beautiful fish. Look at how strong that blue is on the bottom right there.
Yeah.
Hugo, I've got a good story for you. This morning, my Facebook group is called Discus Review, and I appreciate all the wonderful people that have been joining the group. A young man joined my group this morning. His name is Brian. And Brian, we started messaging, and I introduced him to Ricardo within a few hours. Brian is 20 years old, and he's been keeping discus for 8 years. He started when he was 13. He's going to be 21 years old in 5 days. And his dream is to start his own YouTube channel and fly to Portugal and meet you, Hugo.
Well, I don't know if it's the same guy, because today I also received a message from a guy. It's a guy from Philippines.
No. This young man is from California, United States.
Oh, great, great. Because today, because I have a young guy with 18, a French guy. It's a YouTuber and influencer for discos in
I
France.
saw that post. Yes.
Yeah, yes. It's a very cool guy who loves discos, of course, and comes from France to visit me. And he stay a few days in Portugal also. He stay in Portugal because he comes here. Why not stay more 2 or 3 days? So he comes and it's crazy. It's crazy. He goes out with 8 fish and he don't believe what he see. And it's funny because he's with 18. He waiting to have a drive license to take the car of the mother to come to Portugal. And I love this kind of things. I make a small report with him. I'm gonna put in Facebook and YouTube, because the youngers, they just like games and just computers. They don't like this kind of hobbies. So it's something we need to make something for these kids, because the hobby is something. I feel if I have when I be old, if I have health. I'm gonna have discos. I'm gonna have the hobby. I'm gonna need to change water and very old, but I need to make the change of water. So I think it's important, the hobbies. I think sometimes I see a lot of guys who say I cannot buy the fish; it's expensive, and my wife gonna kill me. And I say, but guys, why you say that? Well, because it's expensive and I cannot spend money in this fish. But your wife have a hobby, or is just a shopping, or just the hair, and he say, well, it's true, she don't have a hobby. I think it's important the human have a hobby. It can be butterfly, can be stamps, or can be discos. Well, it doesn't matter. A hobby to spend some of our time, just me and the hobby. You understand? That's what I think. I can be wrong, but
and a hobby is much cheaper than an affair and a girlfriend, right?
Yeah.
Oh, much more, for sure, much more.
We have somebody watching from India. Welcome, India. It's nice to see you, Stephen. And Richie saying addiction is real.
I think we have people for many countries in the world.
Many countries.
Let's see in the end how many people view these live chats. I'm gonna send the file not today but tomorrow, Pete. And you can edit if you want and put in your YouTube page. You want to make
post this up on the page, guys, so everybody has access to it. Ricardo, real quick. Well, I saw somebody just post that they are from Minnesota and will you ship to Minnesota? Why don't you and Hugo tell us how we're going to handle stuff like that? That's important.
So shipments like that, what I'll end up doing is I'll have the shipment come in and I'm going to wait a week or 2 or so, make sure the fish is good and recover from its trip, because obviously it's in the bag for at the very minimum 14 hours before it even lands in my hands. So I'm going to wait about a week or 2, make sure the fish is healthy, good to go. And then from there, that's when we'll start talking about shipping to wherever you are in the U.S., Minnesota, California, Florida, wherever it is, we'll make it happen.
And for you guys that don't know, Ricardo and I live in Pennsylvania. Ricardo's in New York, Yonkers, New York. Ricardo and I meet at Newark International Airport, Newark, New Jersey. That's where Hugo, he puts them on a plane. They come direct flight. I think it's only 6 or 7 hours. They may be in the bags for 14 hours, but it's the most direct flight. So then Ricardo is going to protect them for you, take care of them, acclimate them, and then reship them out to Minnesota, California, Tennessee.
And for those of you that don't know how they are shipped, I highly suggest that you watch Pete's video on when we did our last shipment, because I'm telling you right now, I have never met any sort of fish hobbyist, seller, whatever you want to call it, that ships as well as they do. Santarum is, I'm telling you, they are second to none.
Wonderful shipping.
It's something I ask Ricardo, and he tell me, and I'd be very happy. Ricardo tell me, the fish arrive with the hot temperature. He don't lose too much temperature in the trip, and that is fantastic for the fish. They don't, they don't have water for 20 degrees or 19, like they arrive from Amazon to Portugal. They arrive with 18, 19 degrees. So they arrive to United States, into New York, in perfect conditions.
Oh, they were great, very warm water.
I think just sorry to interrupt you. I think we have some questions in the group, the Discus review, from John, isn't it? And John, I think, is not here today.
Okay.
So can you look in that, because I really
appreciate. I do want to give a quick shout out to I see my friend Michael Besa is here, and also Katie is here, and Barry. Katie and Barry are the couple from Minnesota. They did a wonderful Discus review video for me. Just a big shout out and say hi to my dear friends. Where is John's question, Ricardo? Do you have anything for us?
I'm looking for it right now.
Of course, Rodrigo and Tina, who have been very active on the call. We really appreciate you. And Richie, who's recovering from a double knee replacement because I took a baseball bat one day. No, Richie was playing a little too much football over the years, but he's healing really well. He's walking great. And he's feeling better. So a lot of love going out to Richie. What do you find for us, Ricardo? Anything from John?
John Siaka's question. In your opinion, do you find that one strain of wilds breed easier compared to others?
Right. That's our friend John Siaka, who met us at the airport to pick up the shipment.
Yeah. Yes. The most difficult fish to keep, I'm sure, is the ankle.
Heckles. Heckles are the most difficult to keep and breed.
Yeah. Breed for sure. To keep. All the time is stressed, for example, I put my hands sometimes to clean the aquarium. Sometimes now I don't have workers, so I need to make that with my wife. So I clean all the days, these days, and until the end of this month, the aquariums with my wife during the morning and sometimes the afternoon, depends. And for example, I clean all aquariums and the fish comes to my hands. Okay, they come, they never be stressed. They don't have bars, that's okay. I put my hand in the ankles after they stay here, some of them 1 year. They are crazy. They jump, they are more stressed. I really don't understand why. It must be the genes of the fish. Because in Yamunda, if you diving, the fish comes to you, okay? So they are in groups of fish and they are very curiosity. So they come to you, looking for you. Of course, if you move, they goes away.
Right.
But they have a big curiosity and they are not stressed there. But in aquarium, yes. In aquarium, they are very stressed.
So the most stressed fish, the most difficult fish to breed, heckles, is John's favorite fish.
Yep.
Yeah.
You chose the wrong fish, John.
or not, because last time that is the last time I be with Jack Watley in his house, more or less 4 years or 5 years ago. Jack tell me a very nice story. He have some wilds and try to breeding the wilds. He breed most of them, but a couple he have for ankle, and he think he's a couple because they never lay eggs, but he think he's a couple. He never breed, and one day a customer arrived from his house, his farm, and asked if he wants to breed that couple. And Jack tell me, I say yes, because I have the fish for more than 3 years. He never laying eggs, so I say, take the fish from here. I want just a few dollars. And the guy takes the fish. After 2 weeks, the fish breeding.
Sometimes that's all it takes is a change of environment.
And Jack Walter tell me, it's unbelievable. It's I made everything to the fish breed, and just for goes to another water, another aquarium, they breeding very, very easy, very quick. Lucky. Water, we never gonna know.
John's got that great New Jersey water, so I'm sure it'll be no problem.
Yeah. Also that I think, for example, Ricardo have a really good water for what he said.
Oh no, New York City water, New York water is actually very, very good. It's very high. I miss it. I'm in Pennsylvania now. The water quality is not as good as it is in New York. New York is excellent.
And is it possible to make holes there in United States if you have? It's forbidden.
It's not that it's forbidden down by me in the city. It's not something that people really do, but people further north or people like in Pennsylvania, like Pete, that's more of an option for them. They have more room and
well
stuff.
Water.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, wells are common out here. We're on the city system here, and I know Ricardo and Yonkers is on the city system, but well water is more common out in the country.
So your pH is 7.5, Pete?
Yeah, 7.2. Yeah,
and the fish are okay.
Fish are doing fine. I'm right on tap water. They're doing fine.
And you never use peat turf?
I have not used peat, and I have not used the leaves yet. I do use a little bit of prime because I know we got a lot of chlorine in the water.
Oh, because if you use peat turf, you see the difference.
Okay. It's better than the leaves. The peat or the leaves, or it doesn't matter.
The peat for sure.
The peat and the leaves also helps a lot. I use some leaves in the big sun, but I need to. It's like the peat turf. I need to change. Yep. If not, they in fungus and they do nothing there. You know, it's not good.
Hugo, why don't you put up that flash sale video for a few more minutes for everybody as we wind up this call? It's 1:30 in the morning in Portugal.
Well, that for me is okay. You know, I just sleep 4 hours a day. I have a problem for a long time. I just sleep 4 or 5 hours. So every day I sleeping at 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and then at 9.
If you see the question just pop, we're still on the subject of peat and the leaves, the catappa leaves. Our pH is 8.4. How do you think the wilds would adapt to that? What would you suggest for this person?
Need use osmosis for sure, or
that's reverse osmosis water is what he's saying.
Yeah, or use a lot of peat turf and leaves, catappa leaves. If down for 7.5, that's okay. Depend if you have 8.4. I like to know how many microsiemens, you know, because he can have 8.4 and he can have 300 or 400 microsiemens. And if you have 400 microsiemens with peat turf and catappa leaves, the pH down a lot.
Will the pH come down a little bit if you store the water for 24 or 48 hours?
Excuse me, sorry?
If you take the water from the tap and you put it in a barrel and store it for 24 hours or 48 hours, will that lower the pH at all? Or do you need the peat or the catappa?
You need the peat. You need the peat turf. And attention, the peat turf just working after 3-4 days. Okay, if you put the peat turf immediately, the pH never down. They need some few days to have a lot of water in the peat and the pH down immediately. Or use a very hot. You see, if you go to a shop, you can find liquid peat turf. Okay, what is the liquid of peat turf? Is you take a peat turf, you put hot water inside the peat turf and down, and you have the liquid. This is
so you're talking like almost like making a tea, almost like making tea.
Yeah, exactly, and it's nothing. Don't make nothing in the aquarium. You just put water in your aquarium, nothing more. It's a few peat there. So never buy peat liquid because it's not good.
Okay, that's awesome advice. Awesome advice. Well, I learned so much tonight, Hugo. This has been so much fun. If you guys are looking at the video of the flash sale, incredible fish at an incredible price.
I don't know. Depend of you, Pete. But I don't know. Depend the hour. But for example, it can be interesting. Invite, for example, the CEO from Manaus Aquarium and make something like we are making here. because I have made that with him to Simple Discos. And he's a guy with a big know-how in disease, and he speaks some English we can understand perhaps much better than my English. And it's a nice guy, and if we invite him for a live chat, for sure he's gonna say yes. Also, we can invite one of these days Tropical to speak about the products they have. It's something nice. It's something, I think it's something nice for the groups like you have and your channel, because you are very active, and it's nice to go to the Discus review, because all the time is something happen. I don't like the groups where they put on pictures and after 2 days another picture, and it's important dynamic, all the time everything change and people comes and make questions. I think you are made a very good work. I have told that to Ricardo. You are fantastic.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I will take you up on any dialogue that you want to have. We will open the channel. I would love to do it. We learned so much from this, Hugo. I really appreciate it.
And I'm available anytime. Anytime you want to make something like this. I'm not here today. Yes, flash shell, but I'm not here to sell my fish. I think my fish sell by themselves. So anytime people have questions, I'm available. The time doesn't matter. I can be at 2 o'clock at night or 3 o'clock at night. I'm with the room and good friends, so I'm perfect.
Hugo, you're the best. We really love you. We really appreciate all the information that you give us and everything that you've taught us. I am a big fan of Santarum Discus Plus and the Wild Discus. I think they are a wonderful addition to my collection, and I'm looking forward to it. It just got bigger. So I already put my order in, and we, Ricardo and I, promise to video absolutely every step of this order that's coming in from Hugo in the next week or two. You'll see everything that comes in. We will open the box at the airport for you guys. We will pull the bags out. We will get them home and put them in our tanks for you, show you our acclimation process. So every step of the way, Ricardo and I will be there. I'm sure John's going to meet us at the airport. Rick Gadway may even come down and meet us too, right, John? Ricardo?
Yep, he said he'll come down and meet us. It might be a little bit longer video this time though, because it looks like it's going to be a lot of fish.
Yes, a lot of fish. I think that moment is like kids in the Christmas. I think it's you who tell that, isn't it, Pete? I think when you are waiting, it's like me. I'm waiting for the fish from Amazon, and I have seen everything by the cameras in Amazon because I follow what they are doing. And when they arrive, it's like my first time I have imports. So all the time that adrenaline and everything, we are addicted. We are vicious in this. I think it's a good vicious, so.
It's great. They're great fishes. They're not good. They're great. They're absolutely wonderful. You're wonderful, Hugo. Thank you so much for all your time.
You guys, you need to go. You need to go. Perhaps we can make a better price, a down price. You need to go one day to Amazon. Because I never know you're gonna stay there for more 1 year or 2 years, because every year I say it's finished. I don't want to go more to Amazon. I lived there for 15 years. Leaving is one thing. Go for 1 week, 9 days is another thing. Okay, so I'm a little tired of Amazon, and all the time I say I'm gonna close the farm. I'm gonna finish with the business. So one of these days I'm gonna do that for sure. So until that, try to have some time in your lives to go to Amazon, because my boat is very comfortable, and we spent nice 9 days, and you're gonna have a very big know-how about Discos, and living with that people, because that people, they live with nothing and they are really happy people. It's unbelievable, like how it's possible be so lovely people, happy people with nothing in the pocket, living for the agriculture or fishing, and they all the time they are smiling. And I see so many rich people here in Portugal, and they are not happy, and they have everything. So it's it's something important to see in Amazon.
The fish make us happy, that's for sure. That is the best hobby. This is the best hobby ever. So
I think so.
It's what keeps me sane. That's what I tell everybody.
and the addiction is real, right? We
Yes,
all saw
it
that
is.
post tonight too. Thank you for putting that up. Guys, thank you for everything. Thank you for all your time. Thank you for everybody who joined us tonight. Special thank you to our guest Hugo, who hosted this call and just shared all of his vast knowledge of wild discus with us from Santarum Discus Plus. Guys, have a great and safe evening and wonderful weekend, and we'll be posting this video up for everybody to see at their leisure within the next day or two.
Yes. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Ricardo.
So
Thank you.
Thank you for wrapping up the call.
Big hug.
Big hug. Yes.
Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you, guys. Thank you. Good night. Good weekend.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.